Welcome once again back to the lab. It is your old Professor Pilk, and yes, I still have the Hisuian Decidueye raid here. Now, I am personally not farming Blissey. I already have Blissey, and the events from the 7-star raids are going to pay out way better than the 5-star raids ever would. So when it comes to Blissey, there's very, very little hype for me. I haven't talked about it. I haven't hyped it up at all. It really wasn't anything I cared about whatsoever. But if you guys didn't know, and for me personally, I've kept my Switch offline for the past week. So even though the Hisuian Decidueye raid is gone, because I have not put my Switch online, I still have this raid available to farm. So I'm personally taking advantage of that situation entirely. This to me is worth way more than any number of Blissey raids just for the rewards alone. So it's a little hint, a little tip. If you want to continue farming 7-star raids, you obviously can't get the extra mon, but you definitely can get the awards. So that's one little tip and trick if you guys didn't know that already. Now, the main reason I wanted to come to you guys today is because I really got thinking about this, right? And it has kind of come to my attention that a lot of people were very unhappy with the run here of Hisuian Decidueye. And I kind of get it. Like, we already had Decidueye. It really feels like it's just hashing something that was kind of already done. Though it is the Hisuian form, and maybe there weren't a lot of people that had, Legends Arceus. That's a distinct possibility. That's a totally feasible answer. But it really got me thinking, because I think the Hisuian forms are out there. I think they're plentiful enough that there's just really not a lot of hype around this form or around, this gameplay mode at the moment. Those critical hits, man. Those critical hits. And unfortunately, that means I didn't get the taunt off. Now, maybe my taunt is still in play. Will he Swords Dance? Did he Swords Dance? Remove negative effects. Cannot Swords Dance after the taunt. Perfect. So, yeah, I'm still golden. That's all I cared about. If he doesn't Swords Dance, I'm a happy camper. So, died a little bit early, but it was worth it. It still counted as turn 3. So, worth. So, it really got me thinking about something really interesting here. And that is, number one, we know that Raging Bolt is coming sometime soon. That's the Paradox form of Raikou, the one that they hyped when the DLCs are coming. It feels like that should probably be like the median point between the two DLCs, and we're about at that median point between the DLCs, to be honest. So, when it comes to the Pokemon that are available in-game right now, would you rather have... I mean, obviously we're going to get Raging Bolt. I feel like that's probably going to be tonight's announcement. Or if not, maybe they'll announce it during the week on a larger Pokemon event. Really hard to say how that's going to roll out. Broseph. Are we going to take a second L here? I mean, it's still doable with a second L. It doesn't matter. But it just means I can't Terrastalize on this turn. Alright, let's do that. Let's take our second L, and then we'll just wipe him out. Here we are. So his special defense will be down enough. Normally it's only 1 L. Just running weird tonight. But nevertheless, I kind of feel like Raging Bolt is either incoming tonight, or the announcement's incoming tonight, or is incoming next week. So at some point we should probably be getting that. Usually I think that's when Blissey ran, is like before we got Walking Wake and Iron Leaves and all that kind of stuff. But Hisuian Decidueye got me really thinking. Because a lot of people weren't happy that we had a Hisuian form of a mon we already had. There's kind of two situations here. Number one, and personally my preference, I think it'd be pretty awesome if let's say every other week, it's not even every week, it's every other week, we get a new Pokemon that's introduced that's now compatible with Home. There's an update to this game, and then once a month essentially. So like, let's say this coming weekend they run a new mon that we've never had before, because we don't even have all the starters from Gen 1. All the Kanto starters are not even here. So let's say they run Blastoise, right? And then after that, Blastoise is now compatible with the game and importable through Pokemon Home. Then obviously take a week off and then rerun it again. And then December, we have another one. And then every month until this game, In fact, there's probably enough to sustain it all the way through every other month. But every month, at least one, if not two, brand new Pokemon are added until we have a national dex. That, to me, would be the preferable situation. But the more I really thought about it, I kind of got realizing that I'm kind of spoiled, right? I just recently bought my 3DS. I have access to the Alolan forms, which a lot of people, frankly, aren't going to have access to. I have a distinct advantage over a number of other people, and I'm very spoiled in that regard. So would you guys rather have a new mon and eventually a national dex? Or, from a simple gameplay standpoint, would you rather get some of the forms that are harder to come by? Looking mostly at the Alolan forms, which really can only be obtained through Sun and Moon or Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and transferred through Pokemon Bank, assuming you have that version. Also worth recalling that most other Pokemon games are no longer going to be supported for online content after, March, I believe, of 2024. So there's a point at which we're coming dangerously close to losing this, but also to Pokemon Bank no longer being supported. There's a distinct possibility that might actually happen sometime here soon. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. You've already run a wonky run. Don't be cheap now. So what would you guys rather see? Would you guys rather see a new mon added every other week to every 3 to 4 weeks, and then eventually get a full national dex in the game? Or would you guys rather see some of those rarer forms that are maybe much harder to obtain and not impossible, in fact, for some people? Which situation would you prefer as a player in this game? Look at that. I got an ability capsule. I will take that. This is why I say no nuggets, though. Could really use some of those. But that is kind of why I say that number one, I'm running the Decidueye raid instead of Blissey. Number two, let me know in the comments, sound off, or if you have a third potential option that you'd rather see. Maybe a rerun that you guys weren't here for. What would you like to see in these raids going forward? Because frankly, I think there's a ton of potential that Game Freak, if I'm totally honest here, is completely squandering. Sound off down below, like, comment, and share, and I'll be back with more coming up here real soon.